Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we are, I guess, playing a game called Unroaded. I don't know if it's actually a game or... Because what I've seen is this is a visual novel, so I don't believe that this is going to be in regular game format, but all I know is technically, since it was on Steam, it's a game, because I'm pretty sure Steam doesn't sell us books. So yeah, I guess this is a visual novel. It's not supposed to be very long, so hopefully this is something we can get done in one sitting. So let us begin. Okay. Good. Let us begin. After this loads properly, I'm flipping back and forth between OBS to see if this is properly recording everything. Sure hope it is. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong yet. I mean, maybe with the game there is. The game always seems to have a lot of issues. But OBS should be fine because OBS there is nothing like oh, I hear some words. I hear some sounds playing. Have we started our visual novel yet? I believe we have. Okay. Sickness and death blowing from the nauseous yellow sky. Clouds light and ghostly are frozen, as if time stops where there is no life. Okay, click. The vagrant sits on the wall of a half-ruined fortress and tries not to look at the sick sky. That evokes anguish, disturbs echo of heartache. I'm gonna turn this down. I don't know if you guys can hear anything that's happening. Yeah, but I'm gonna turn this down. This is way too loud. I don't know if you guys heard anything I said. But yeah, it looks like we've gotten into this. So the vagrant sits... Yeah, I think I've read that already. There is no way out. Windows are crammed with boards. Doors are buried in the earth for centuries, but he is in no hurry to leave. Day, week, month, he sits, looks away, and then time starts to lose meaning, disappears. Was time about to die or something? Or is time just really quick in his eyes? I don't get what's going on, but if you guys have played this or have any clue what's going on, just let me know. I'm going to try and figure it out myself, but if I ever get confused, just let me know that I suck at guessing. Until the wall begins to crumble. Sooner or later he will fall. So it better be his choice and not the fault of the crumbling stone. He rises to step forward. Yeah, so basically this is just like this is a book, but you know, through pictures and all that stuff. I mean, it's not really a book, but well, I don't know. I've never experienced this or have heard of it ever, but I'm playing it now. The wind doesn't whistle in the ears, eyes don't water, the ground approaches, but the heart doesn't beat right well, as well. He falls to the dusty ground and crumbles as a bunch of bones, rings with armor, and then silence ensues. Slowly, indifferently, Vagrant sits... Oh, is Vagrant the person? Well, I guess its name is Vagrant. Sits down and begins to gather himself by the pieces, because at first I thought Vagrant was something else, but no, it's, I guess, our character we're talking about here. Wrist to a forearm, a hand to a clavicle. Not a speck of blood anywhere. The Vagrant... Wait, the Vagrant? Or is Vagrant... Okay, I'm confused. They called him Vagrant, now they're calling him the Vagrant, so I assume he's part of some weird species. Creaks with his jaw. The war lasted for decades, and he was one of its many victims. And by the way, by species, I didn't mean like an animal species, but I'm meaning like a human type, like some feral human or something. When kings' armies decreased, commanders of both sides attracted otherworldly forces. Fallen warriors rose and charged into battles again. They fought mindlessly, tirelessly, and yet the war saw its end. But her soldiers haven't. Only the lifeless lands full of dead men remained. The vagrant fed to the fire orders issued to him before the first battle, threw out his helmet, on which royal symbols were flaunted, smeared in the resin, clothes that were copying the colors of the once native land. So I guess we're in a wasteland now. For having forgotten someone's bright face 100 years ago, for that now he feels nothing except sore bitterness for the nauseous yellow sky. By the way, 100 years ago, man, this guy must... At this point, I'm starting to question if he's human, because, I mean, usually humans don't live over 100 years, so that is a little surprising here. The magic of death has turned this world into a mass grave. What was he like before? The vagrant doesn't remember. The last thing memory clings to is the name. He had a name once, short, proud sounding, simple and frequent really, but it belonged to him. Name that no one needs. Unique name. Okay, I was about to start saying names that are very unique, but I'm not going to do that. As well as torn trampled flags that were left behind. He doesn't have the strength to be the man he was, but he still can hold a sword in his hands, but not alone. No way loneliness is what drives you crazy. By the way, guys, I'm just going to take a little pause here. By the way, I think I also read on Steam this thing has multiple endings, so I actually got to check Steam. Let me check Steam for a second. Yeah, there might be. I think this might actually turn out to be okay. Usually most of the gameplays I've done are pretty laggy. Okay, so we've been playing for 7 minutes, but let me just check on Steam. Wow, Steam's actually taking a long time, screw that. But yeah, from what I've seen, I guess this is one of those games where there are multiple endings, and there's a certain way you determine it. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, because I'm just clicking through pages here, but I guess there's supposed to be some kind of way. I'm going to see if Steam Steam's not even going to load. I don't think it is. It's not. Okay, I don't care. Steam can do it at once. Not left fortresses, not lack of feelings, not frozen time, but knowing of oneself, alone as if the last. Where is everyone? Ours and others, no matter if they were. If only they were. With non-existent eyes, Vagrant observes the triumph of death at the desert fields far away. He must find the answer. Oh! The road stretches monotonously. Yeah, I think that's how you say it, monotonously. The vagrant doesn't notice how the scenery changes. Abandoned settlements are... I'm not saying this right. I'm saying it way too quickly. Abandoned settlements are passing by, and naked forests are greasing with clouds. Time sinks, spreads like a thick fog over his mind, muddles hours with days, and comes to life only when silhouettes appear on the way. The figures of other dead men. The fights are not different from one another. They are sluggish, but they beat off seconds in the mind like thunder. Block, counterattack, again and again. Why do they attack? He always waits and defends himself. He wants to see the life, half-forgotten word. It's so difficult to recognize it now. Only the mind will tell. Only a lowered sword, only an attempt to get to know each other. The dead men don't remember themselves. They charge into the battle mindlessly. So Vagrant crumbles them in the dust, hoping that he frees their soul. I get freeing their souls. I mean, that doesn't sounds like a typo, but I'll say freeze. That sounds right. Then time freezes again, turning the path into a sequence of pictures. Oh, and then we have a tornado. Black smoke scatters the gloomy welkin, and the vagrant follows it. Or is this a certain tornado? Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure tornadoes are lighter than that, so it may not be. He doesn't care about the way. Some part of him remembers the outlines of the hills. It's the borders. He leaves his kingdom, his home, and these thoughts suddenly become meaningless. There are no borders now, and he won't recognize his home as well. Was he just leaving home or something? Deciding to wander off? He desperately tries to recall someone's bright face. Or is this story supposed to be him, like, just looking back at the past, trying to remember what happened? Because something tells me this guy just completely forgot everything, and he's just trying to figure out everything, because the way this sounds is this vagrant is just lost. He sounds pretty lost from what the story says. But is it means anything now? Will the memories of happiness serve him well in this time, this place? Will they give him a sense of time? Or maybe they'll be the only thing that won't let him give up. Oh, so we've got trust of... Oh, okay. So this is where the ending part plays into now, because we can make choices throughout the whole thing. So trust the feelings are I think concentrating on the path would be the best idea. I mean, you're already set on it, so why not? The truth is only in the heart, and even if he no longer has a heart, he must go on. He must throw away his weaknesses for his existence gain sense. He measures seconds with his steps. Ashes is spreading in all directions with coal. Fire is dancing freely. Okay, so I think that fire is what the black smoke was. At first it looked like a huge tornado, but now it just looks like what it is, fire. Fire is dancing freely, but sleepily. It stretches to the sky and settles, breathes to its full height, leans, burns clouds, and clings to the ground. Dead men gathered around the fire, nude, charred. They enter the scarlet flame and lie in the core of the hearth, one by one, slowly and impassively. Then they rise and leave the fire, sharing it with the rest. The vagrant breathes with ashes and doesn't feel the fire's warmness. The flesh burns and bubbles. No smell. Huh? Is that him? Wait. So was I supposed to pick the other thing then? So is this the ending? He just burns and dies? Oh, it's not over yet. Dead men notice the vagrant, but don't stop. Only one of them still have a tongue, and he tries to speak. The burning themselves stand in the line. His voice is dry. There is no sadness or pain in it, only indifference. The vagrant. Oh, this guy's a vagrant, obviously. So we actually get to see who our character is. I think on the Steam... Wait. Yeah, let's go check Steam again. Man, it loaded, but it's already too late. Dang, it doesn't... Steam is not helpful when it needs to be. Yeah, but I think Steam already shows the character, you know, in one of the images that show up. Yeah, anyway, let's just continue. What are you doing? The burning themselves. Stand to the line. We kill ourselves. We share the fire because anywhere nearby there is no another one. We don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to look for another fire. After all, it is here. Even if so small. Some have already freed themselves. Others wait. Or is this him talking? That also might be why the grammar is off too. He may not have the most proper of grammar. Okay, that's understandable. I forgive you. Some have already freed themselves. Others burn themselves little by little to give the others chance to die. But the fire will go out. So basically, to them, this life is hell. Then, so they want to die, I guess. Okay, we need to share. Stand in the line. Okay, so get in the line or refuse. Well, I see something going on here, and I think we've already conformed once. I think we've already complied once to these guys. So I think this time we're gonna refuse. See what happens. I'm not looking for death. I'm one of those who remain themselves. I want to talk as once in life, to remember myself and know that I live. You will have none of this. Have you even tried? Stand to the line or go anyway. You could come with me. Why do you stay here? Why burn yourself if you still remember who you are? Go away. Oh, I see there's a conversation. Offer them the last death or go away. Huh. Now this one I think is a little tough. Are we just going to leave them to die or offer them the last death? I think we back away from this one. Yeah, they enjoying it. They want to be with the fire, become a fire, forget all. Neither life nor death is important as long as you have a goal. Their goal is to burn. No one will help them. And now I feel terrible. Now I feel like I should have offered them the last death, but I don't know if that was going to help them anyway. Time flies by like a swift bird of prey and snatches seconds from life along with the flesh. The vagrant feels older than he should. He doesn't like it, so he leaves. Okay, so that's what we were looking at, and then we followed the path to get there. The ashes last a long while. It extends for 3 rising suns, which Vagrant hasn't noticed till now. Light and shadow used to be the same for him. Now he counts the days. At night he makes a halt. He doesn't need to rest, but it makes the way easier. He looks at the stars and gives them names. Oh, I can just hit enter. I've been clicking this whole time and I could have just hit enter. Words are sprung up by themselves. Bird, Pearl, Virgo, Shield, and he gets tired. And probably falls asleep too. Morning leads him to a lifeless city. Fog curl over the thickets in a dry river. The vagrant raises his head with the hope of seeing the flag waving over the towers, but their silhouettes are still. He carefully invades the abode of calmness. Silence envelops the city. Only the sparse howling of the evil wind can be heard. This place is like an echo of bygone time, and the vagrant decides to call it that way. Echo. Perhaps when the city ends, the sadness that had settled in the heart will also go away. Once this place brought people joy, memories sneak up like an annoying melody. He repels them. This city. Apparently this is how his home looks like now. Okay, so this was his former town that he lived in. It's now lifeless. Yeah, I either want to think this is a wasteland, or this guy is trying to remember his entire life over again. I don't really know. We might find out at the end, or we might be left with some unanswered questions. Apparently this is now, once a street full of life, now ruins overgrown with moss. But this city can be rebuilt. If people come back, they'll get beautiful lands. And the vagrant hopes they won't repeat the mistakes of others. He stumbles over something and barely keeps himself from falling. Lowering his gaze, he sees that the dead man lying among broken slabs has blocked his way. The knee raised for a footboard slowly goes down. Why did you do this? The vagrant examines the face under the helmet. Neither skin nor muscles, only bones. The dead man can't answer. He didn't even move. Well, of course he can't answer. What? How does this make any sense? How does this make any sense? You respond? How do you respond to a dead man? Somebody in the comments, please tell me how you respond to a dead man. But guess what? We're crazy enough to do it anyway, so let's try to reach out to him. See what happens. I want to help you. The vagrant doesn't have time to notice the dead man's what? Dude, that is creepy. His hand rises. He actually responds. Well, that doesn't surprise me, figuring that we even had the chance to reach out to him anyway. He swings and throws at the stranger, his second hand. The vagrant dodges. Oh, what? Was this guy trying to get us? Seek for the fire can bring the last death. He doesn't receive an answer, but the dead man rises, creaking with bones and leaves. Perhaps to seek the fire. Chants reach from the heart of the city. The vagrant goes by the overgrown stone slabs and doesn't listen. It's all in his head. He finds a chapel and steps inside with the costume, examining the rotten wooden beams. The ceiling is still holding. How many prayers have these walls heard? How many of them got hurt? Has anyone survived this war? A steady knock comes from somewhere. The vagrant follows it and finds himself in the chapel's basement. He sees the 3 dead men. One stands against the wall and beats the stone with his head. His skull is full of cracks. It looks like he's doing this for a long time. The other 2 sits beside him and watch. Okay, yeah, that's what I saw in one of the Steam pictures. Yeah, that's what I saw. So I don't know if this is supposed to represent the good ending or if we would have saw this or whatever. Okay, so these are the dead man speaking. Newbie. Another. Won't last. Toe. Oh, well, why would he say toe? Is he going to cut off my toe? That just didn't sound right. The dead man who spoke second tears the little finger from his foot and puts it on the barrel, where is already lined the palm. Yeah, there was something weird down here. I had to check. Did they bet on the vagrant? Too soon. This one is still alive. Loud noise. The skull of a dead man who was beating the wall with his head finally cracks. The body falls to the ground, limply raising a heap of dust. The first dead man laughs hoarsely and takes the palm. Won again. You always bet on death, because there can be no other outcome. And now that is a true fact. You can't avoid death. No matter what you try to do, you cannot cheat death. It can. No one needs immortality. Our fate is another search for immortality. Their strange dialogue suddenly stops. They turn to the newcomer. Say goodbye to the toe. Already. How long have you been wondering? With delay, Vagrant realizes that the last phrase was addressed to him. He doesn't move, looking at these odd dead men, and thinks what to answer. Now, this seems like some very paranormal, supernatural type stuff here. Also, I didn't read to see if that's what was in this, but all I know is it's called Unroaded, and that's about it. And that there's multiple endings. Conscious, for the first time, conscious. I don't remember the time. What are you playing? Making bets? We are making bets. Well, didn't your buddy say that first? Everyone is dying. There are no losers in this game. And I have spare bones. I bet on life. And then I get new bones. What are you doing? It's not easy to get used to their speech. They are like snatching from their thoughts only the meaning. I'm looking for someone like me to save myself from madness. Madness awaits all. Play. Nothing more is needed. We won't become alive. We won't regain feelings. We will never have love again. No one needs this kind of existence. There's no meaning. Therefore, seek for the last death or play. I don't know if we should argue. I mean, I guess in this world they don't believe in the afterlife. I don't know. I think I'm gonna argue against it. I will find my own meaning, and if it will disappoint me, I'll look for another one. Because life is a chance to make a choice. And I won't deny my life as long as I remember who I am. After listening to him, the dead man keeps silence for a long time, and the second one takes his little finger back. Lucky, boring. They really had bet on him. The disturbed dust lazily hovers over the stone, and the inanimate silence peals mumbling, mixed with the sigh of one of the debaters. The second one snorts as if in response. Dead men don't need to breathe, these are feelings. They have them, they don't understand. Do you remember your names? We all have no past. Now, no one has a name. Names are no longer needed. How far in the future are we? Name them. Why not? Why not? Give them names. I need so I can distinguish you. Maybe Ben and Bean. Oh, okay. Okay. Just fair. Who is Ben? Who's Bean? I like Ben. Then I am Bean. Oh, see, they agree. We all agree on this. Okay. Now he turns toward the vagrant. And who will you be? And who will be you? The vagrant. Oh, come on. Come on. Now I'm even agreeing with the dead men. Come on, I agree with Ben here. Why would you be so hypocritical like that when they have to have names? Okay, I agree with the dead men here. I don't even agree with the protagonist at this point. I definitely 100% agree with the dead men. Such a hypocrisy. Saddles us with names and refuses to take one. No, wait. The vagrant. Ben, Bean, and the vagrant. Fine. The dead man distracts by their previous victim. What will overgrown with moss faster? He or his clothes? Me. If we will bat on the really dead, let's get out of here. Seek for others. Is Vagrant with us? No, thinks too much. We'll spoil the game. But we'll meet again. If he won't die. Friends? They look at him again. nod. Well, I'll be your friend. Shake your hand. The vagrant nods. Perhaps someday their paths will converge. Then he won't mind friends, although he doesn't understand what this word means. He hopes these two will help him find out one day. Oh, so I see you have to rely on the dead here. 3 leave the basement and their paths diverge. The debaters are going away from the sun. They no longer need this city, and the vagrant continues the way to the ruin. Wait. History? History, yeah. Can I go back? Okay, what? Okay, I want to go back here. Oh, wait, no, I just have to read that. 3 leaves the basement and the path, wait, continues the way to the ruins depths. Okay, so we're going to the ruins, I guess. Yeah, we can return. How are we doing with this recording? You seem to be doing alright. Man, almost 26 minutes. Mad dead men getting bigger. They attack without asking questions. Their hands never tremble. Their faces are always unreadable. The vagrant doesn't want to fight, doesn't want to save them either. He doesn't care what was the fault of their madness, the magic of death, or a weak mind that didn't accept the new existence. They have no hope of salvation. Or he wants to think that way. Where once was a heart hurts. Didn't see what that said, but I'm gonna ignore it. He gets tired of timelessness. When no one is around, the body feels cumbersome. The mind is unnecessary, and existence itself is a joke of an evil god. Okay, why did you lock me up in an empty infinity? He does not receive a response. He does not know he won't get it by asking someone inside himself. Yearning insensibly turns into anger. The vagrant gets angry at the silence of the thoughtless, who are dressed in the same armor as he is, gets angry when he is forced to fight again. Soon he begins to attack first. Each new battle captures him more than the previous one. Anger starts to become the goal. He is looking for rivals. He wants to rip up the armor, tear the tendons, smash the bones. He is eager to watch the last moment of someone else's existence, how weapons drops from the hands of the defeated enemy. And one day he loses. The last death does not come because the other dead man hasn't thought about crushing the enemy into death. He just left when another one stopped moving. The sun runs endlessly across the sky, and the vagrant lies in faded grass, confusing himself with the dead. Okay, so I guess he's confused with himself. He doesn't know if he's alive or dead. Stars are born in the dark and die with the forthcoming of light. Why does the sun do in this? Why killing the stars? He asks no one again. This is too foolish. He seems to be losing his mind. Understanding this, the vagrant forces himself to rise and move on. He picks up the sword but ceases to fight, falling when attacked, waiting. Then continues his way. He's already far from the place of his death and farther from home, so I guess that's confirmed he's dead. When will he find what he is looking for? The sun has time to set as many times as vagrant has markings on his sword's sheath, which were made apparently when he was still alive. They are covered with them almost entirely. They are not enough. Oh, I get it. So I guess he's kind of in purgatory. He's not really. He's in between death and the afterlife. Okay, I kind of get where he's at now. Vagrant starts to recount once again. The earth changes its color, grows with a stone. Trampled paths wander through a maze of rocks and find their end among the lights. Wrecks of armor lying around. And is this a camp? 5 figures in black armor sit around the fire. Helmets are covering their faces and skulls are scratched in their shields. Humans? No, it cannot be. Vagrant realizes that he is right. The knights do not move, do not breathe, just staring into the fire, fascinated as if nothing else surrounds them. A bonfire makes dying logs sing, and they sing almost invitingly. Or it's just an illusion and twiddle of the wind. The vagrant doesn't have the time to move even a bit towards the knights as one of them turns his head. Okay, so that... Oh, the knight has red eyes. Oh, is this an evil knight? New executioner has visited us. His voice is low and humming, more alive than all. Those who vagrant has met so far had, but there was something deranged about it. Without waiting for the newcomer's answer, another knight asked doubtfully, "Or a new victim?" No, look at him. Frozen, they look at the vagrant. "Will you join us in our noble goal?" "Who are you and what is your goal?" "We are the executioners. Life has rejected us, so we have rejected all living things." "The grand executioner." "Oh, that's who he is." When was the first war? Our time was taken by countless battles. When was the second war? We were called out of the realm of the dead to kill again. And when there was no one left, we were left too. He speaks of 2 wars. I only know about one. Twice burned land for the first time by the adult of our foolishness, for the second of our despair. But nothing would have happened if it were not for the necromancer. He tweaked 2 kingdoms with intricacies and intrigues to see the war. So that might actually be why all these people are still, roaming around, because of necromancy. That might have brought them back. He came to both kings. Well, no, that's communication with the dead. So I actually don't know what's going on. He came to both kings and offered death magic when the armies were exhausted and the land was poor. The lords accepted his help. Who is this necromancer? We do not know. We are seeking revenge. It will not take long. The necromancer must pay. In pursuit of him, we will destroy all living things, because war is what he created us for. Our king is forgotten. Our children lie in graves with fools and cowards who fled from death to fire. We will not allow ourselves to fall so low. Pain is our strength. When we burn the necromancer, we will burn this world. I believe that's a typo, though. No more foolishness, no more despair. Life is a mistake. I mean, I can't. I'm gonna say it isn't. I'm gonna argue against all your points. Yeah, I don't believe it's a mistake, but it definitely can be if you're not right with it. The knights are silent. They are not going to argue. They have their own truth. How many years have they been guarding it? For them, it's more important than their own souls. Well, that's why they think life is a mistake, because, heck, their job is to think that. Fire flames dancing on the black steel of their armor, diverting attention from the heavy stairs. For what are they in need of the fire? Don't they despise it? Or maybe this is why they huddle around the bonfires as if it were still alive. They are testing their will, their spirit. After all, fire can give peace. Everything that all the dead men actually need. If you are not with us, leave. You must burn. I don't know. I mean, if I go my own way, I'm gonna burn, so I guess I gotta join them. I guess I have no choice at this point. I'm surrendering. Anger awakens with sudden, like the flames flare up. The vagrant does not agree with them, but he was alone for too long. If nothing changes next to them too, it will mean that there is no hope for his salvation either, just like the insane ones. With the last ray of sun, they move forward. Foothills follow them with scarlet clouds. This place is too peaceful. The wind walks freely and carefree. It doesn't bluster or howls, only touches the grass gently and retreats to the sky, as if afraid to do harm. Clouds gather and crumble as white dust, and when night falls, jumbles with the stars. The markings on the sheath become useless. Alongside the executioners, the vagrant feels the time. He asks them about their first life and fills his heart with their grief. When their suffering's weight becomes unbearable, he stops asking questions. Day and night they walk in silence, each thinking about one thing. Life is a mistake. Thought stops only when Vagrant forces himself to learn the stars. Even from here you can see them. Bird, Pearl, Virgo, Shield, and one without a name. Someone's image appears in his memories, but he drives it away. And grasping at the bright feelings, dreams up with a different one. He thinks of a maiden warrior, self-willed and passionate. Her look penetrates the soul, her touch is like fire. She smiles brightly. The vagrant realizes that it was someone from his life. The memory partly returns to him, and yet he discards all thoughts. He does not need the memory, neither bitter nor light. Only the image he remembers while looking at the stars. She is his guardian angel. The cape passes near the road. There's nothing behind a cliff, only a naked bottom that was left over from a dried up river. On the edge of the cape, boulders are overgrown with perennial moss. It takes time for... Oh gosh. Roll back. Roll back. It takes time for the vagrant to notice a figure in the gray-yellow robe. Someone is sitting over the... I can actually not say that word. That's the first word I think that I have no clue how to pronounce. The executioners don't have a chance to get close. The stranger rises and charges into battle. His movements are adjusted. The strikes are strong. He is elusive, self-collected, perfect. Now that is something no human is. So obviously the vagrant is not a human. With ease, as if he was playing, he gifts the death to all the executioners except the vagrant. He smashes their skulls, breaks bones, along with armor, and throws everything into the... Oh my gosh, that word again. Well, I assume it's like some dark pit abyss or something. Yeah, it's probably like an abyss, so that's what I'm going to say. I'll have to look that word up after this video, though. Then, without turning around, he sits down in his former place. Oh, that can't be the... Yeah, that's not the vagrant, because it seems like he's talking to me. Join me. Okay, I assume it's probably one of the executioners. There's a gaping hole in Vagrant's heart's place, and he lacks the strength for hate, for taking away meaning. Destroy all living things is what the executioners wanted. Sooner or later they would be stopped, he knows it. The vagrant silently curses his fate and refuses to admit that he made the wrong choice when joining them. Still, without them, it'd be easier for him. Thoughts leaves him, and he sits next to the stranger. His legs are dangling into the... the precipitate... I tried to pronounce that. I'm never trying it again. It becomes possible to realize that this is a dead man in front of him, only by fingers, bones that was peeking out from the holy gloves. His face is masked and multi-layered clothing wraps the whole body. Why did you spare me? You are confused. By the way, who are you? The vagrant. Yeah, that's all I know myself as. So you don't remember your name too? Okay, so I see we're on the same page here. Now let's keep it green. Now, how can I call you? Others call me a philosopher. I guess you can too. Calmness comes from him. It is not so cold and indifferent as was coming from all the dead men who Vagrant had met until now, but as if no one is there. How can it be? The vagrant stretches his hand slowly so the stranger won't be frightened and touches his shoulder. Dead bones cannot give feelings, but the palm hits an obstacle. Not a vision after all. Stranger doesn't react to this gesture. What are you doing here? Nothing. How's that? I'm thinking this is an action for the world of the dead. What are you thinking about? About Earth. No, about water. Earth. Sky. What else can you think about while being dead? About your grief? This is a one-way ticket to Oblivion. Why are you wearing a mask? Also, that's not even his face. So many questions. My face has been eaten away by death and time. Those who remain unconscious do not need to see it. The wind sings in a hollow. The philosopher responds to its song with a quiet humming. Bungling melody brings unwanted memories. This is an anthem. And something in this humming seems terribly familiar. You remember it too, yes? Yes. Apparently I do. I remember, although I do not know why. Behind the cold mask, Vagrant feels a smile. All of you remember it. There are no names, no past, but each of you remembers the anthem. You speak as if you are not one of us. I'm not one of you. Not really. It was not the necromancer's actions that caused my curse, and I remember everything. Do you remember why the war started? Who we were, and why did we fought? Okay. Yes. Tell me. When the seas had depleted, a lot of no man's land appeared. The kings of the two largest nations were in long negotiations about how to share new lands. Nobody wanted to make concessions. I wish I could say that the rumors led the necromancer to the swords, that it was his evil tongue that provoked first war, and after it another one. Isn't he guilty for the fate of the dead men? Wondering everyone. I'm sure your previous friend made you think so. He is guilty just as kings. Everyone hoped to prevent the war, but at the very first chance they were seizing over lies and intrigues. Fulfilled his part of the deal, the necromancer gave an advantage to one side by resurrecting their warriors, and when they refused to satisfy his demands, he did the same for their enemies. There he hadn't get the help too, so he left and let everyone to kill each other. The philosopher laughs quietly. What did he needed? I'm gonna ask that. What was he needed? I don't know. Whatever. It cannot justify two wars. You would have only one if it hadn't intervened. And you wouldn't be here now. And where am I? On the way to the necromancer. Okay, so I see. Maybe this is a cycle of necromancy too. Like, this guy will just communicate with all these different spirits. The vagrant. Ugh. Oh, I don't want to be there. You didn't notice that you always go forward, as if something is calling you to go on, and it doesn't matter where to, but you do know something is waiting for you beyond the sun. The vagrant tries to remember the entire path that he passed and realizes that he had never chosen the direction. He had no will. He just kept going. He confessed. Yes. It's the necromancer calling you. He sings to you, sings to all. He summons the remaining stray dead men to himself. He wants to fix what he has done. To kill all of us? Yes. The philosopher laughs again and the vagrant becomes frightened for a moment. He managed to forget this feeling, fear, and didn't recall about its existence since he realized that he was dead. However, that was not the death that frightened him. The one who sows death regrets for his wrongdoings. All of this is hard to accept. I understand. It's so sweet to believe that your goals are noble, that the one pure evil is to blame for all, but the reality is always more prosaic. How do you know so much? I was his friend. Silence comes and it lasts for many days. Under the vagrant's bony knees, flowers makes time to grow up. He began this path by seeking of others. He wanted to talk and listen and feel. Now the philosopher is beside him, and time belongs to them. The vagrant tells about what happened, about how he refused to die in the fire, how he gave names to the two conscious, and joined the executioners, had lost faith in life. He doesn't face approval or dispraise. He feels relieved. The philosopher tells him about the cemeteries that have turned into flower fields, about the music of silence, about the stars. The living ones have bodies and feelings. They do not need the meaning. What about the dead? Is this life worthy to care? So many reflections and opinions and words. The philosopher asks questions to which the vagrant does not know the answers. One thing is clear for both of them. The necromancer will not back down, and this means that no one will have the opportunity to find the answers to these questions. Only when Vagrant notices the rust on his armor, he realizes that years have passed. He and the philosopher get to know each other well, too. The moment to part comes. Getting used to loneliness again is not so difficult because the Vagrant is calm. This calm he preserves and carries with him the rest of the way. Going down the hollow that frowning under the weak sun, the vagrant finds a deep hole. The tunnel leads to the caves, driven away by long dead underground creatures. He finds their large bones and almost rejoices that he doesn't have to fight them. The tunnels are full of dampness and howling wind. Moisture settles on the armor. The living ones couldn't breathe here with ease. Light is being replaced by darkness, and each step spreads an echo. No need to get used to the dark. The vagrant listens to footsteps, drops that crash in stone, drops that crashing upon a stone. The song. It beckons him almost imperceptibly. This is an anthem, and this is someone's yearning. Lost days, ruined fates, no regret, no repentance, but one to fix it. Closer and closer. It will end soon. The cave ends with the basement of the fortress. Bodies are everywhere. Stumps, bones, eyeless heads. The earth is black of flesh that mingle with mud. They had followed the call too. The vagrant left the basement, intentionally striding louder. He rattles with armor and throws away fear. Come and fight. Others' presence is a wave of warmth. The necromancer is living flesh, the heat of breath, and the smell of blood. His head is covered with black cloth. Dress trails over the ground, decrepit and full of holes. He speaks but does not look at the vagrant. Ugh, the necromancer. Necromancer looks like death himself, goodness sake. Always have to wait so long. Tired. I'm so tired. You're ready to talk to me though, aren't you? He is blind. The hall that surrounds him is almost empty, and the necromancer doesn't afraid to fall. He feels the vagrant and unhesitatingly walks toward him as if was sighted. The vagrant takes combat stance and prepares to repel the attack. Oh, are we gonna fight with him now? Yeah, dead versus alive. I wonder who wins. The necromancer takes a sharp breath and freezes. The song breaks off. The vagrant doesn't feel anything, only sees the confusion of the old man in front of him. You are not the first. There were others? Too many. You killed them all? Yes. Well, looks like that's my fate. Why? I had to. Let me check. I mean, it says my encoding overloaded, but I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything. Oh, well, now it's lagging for some reason. Man, this is long. Been doing this for almost an hour now. I had to. The vagrant feels the approaching anger. What all this for? Why did you help the war to last after the death of its warriors? What did you so separately? What did you so desperately wanted from the kings that you agreed to condemn so many souls to eternal damnation? You won't understand. Tell me! I am nobody, and I am different from everyone you met. I'll try to understand. Sighed with displeasure, the necromancer creaks with his teeth. Kings promised me their best people, not for the army. I wanted to save the scientists, thinkers, gifted masters, all those who would change this world, so that they become immortal, like a friend of mine, and so they can change others the way he changed me. I wanted to give them eternity, but no one followed me. Even if they wanted, they couldn't. Most joined the ranks of the soldiers. Others were imprisoned by the kings and kept under surveillance. But why do you kill all the dead men? After all, those who you need may be among them. Now they are madmen. There is no one to save. You can't know for sure. You're doing the wrong thing. It is not for you to judge me. The vagrant feels like he is choking. He can't find the words. The necromancer easily bows his head. No matter now. Same fate is waiting for you, vagrant. His voice is soaked with indifference. You have met many who still remember themselves. You could stay with them. Your goal would be achieved, but you rejected everyone. Rejected because not loneliness is your scourge. You want to live again. Get your body back. Return those you loved. It will not happen. Bow down before me, for you are only an outlived memory. The necromancer raises his skinny hand, preparing to cast his spell. His song without words and without music is playing in the vagrant's head again. He freezes. The stars become brighter. Their light illuminates the fortress like the sun. The living one would be blind, but the vagrant feels warm. By the way, it actually did get brighter, that light coming through that small window there. So good effects, game creator. Well, game, because this is a visual novel, I guess. He sees black threads approaching him. the embodiment of the song and ignores. So warm. Yep, it's getting brighter. Light envelops, forces to drop the fear in all thoughts. Only calm remains. What did Vagrant achieve? Yep, it only gets brighter. Who he become? And did he become someone? No matter now. He wakes up. Yeah, he wakes up. Oh gosh. Oh, his rollback. Yeah, I think it lagged a little bit. Okay, we can go. He rises lazily, rubbing his eyes. From outside of the window, there's sleepy talk and clatter. The streets are flooded with the light of the morning sun. Water glitters in the square's fountain. So peaceful that it's hard to believe. Wherefrom comes a strange feeling like heaviness after a lost battle. Ah, no matter. Seems like it was just a bad dream that gone from memory. It's for the best. And the garrison wards and friends are waiting for him. He is happy. Is that it? Okay, no, there's still more. While in the silence, in the darkness of an abandoned fortress, a blind man leads a weak-willed dead man away. We lagging out here? Oh, the end. Okay. So I don't know if we got the good ending or whatever ending there is, but credit to you guys, whoever created this. I did not get a lot of the grammar. It actually seemed very annoying at times, and so I got thrown off by it. But, oh yeah, from Russia. Yeah, see, it is Russian. I guessed that at the beginning because it asked what language I wanted. I thought this was Russian. I mean, that's not really what we're supposed to be stoked about here. But anyway, this was a great game. Out to D-Hen, I think that's his name. Yeah, D-Hen. Props to you, man. Thank you for this amazing game. It was actually a wonderful experience. I liked it. And I don't know if this video is going to turn as well as it should have, because, I mean, for the longest time, I think for the first 20 minutes of it, it actually wasn't laggy. So hopefully for you guys, it doesn't turn out to be the same. I don't know if this is going to load or not, but anyway, I don't know what ending I got. I will let you guys know if I don't find out before the end of this video, I will just let you guys know in the description what ending I got. I think there are 4 different endings to this, so if you guys want to see the other 3, they're probably on YouTube. If it's not, you can go find the game in the link in the description below. But let's see if I'm going to be able to find that ending. I don't know. But if we don't, if we can get the ending, then I won't put it in the description. But if we do find out the ending, then I will let you guys know. So I'll give it about another minute or so. I don't know if it's gonna load. I feel it will because it's done that, but a bug or a mistake. Yeah, well, I didn't read that part. Yes, there were a lot of mistakes. Well, there was only one mistake. If you were intentionally making him sound like some kind of incoherent speaker, then you only made one mistake, and that was no. The word no. You said mo instead. That was a typo. But other than that, that was the only mistake you made. So I don't know how popular this game is. I have not seen videos of it, nor even knew its existence until yesterday. Well, I think it was Thursday I found out about this game's existence. But yeah, I didn't know about it until a couple of days ago. I planned on playing it for you guys, and yeah, I don't think we're going to find it out. So I'm just going to let you guys know in the description for you guys what the ending is. I'm just going to wait for it to load after the video concludes, and I'll let you guys know what the ending I got was. But anyway, if you guys have been watching for this almost nearly an hour, this was not as short as I was thinking. I was thinking maybe half an hour short, but no, this was close to an hour. But anyway, for those of you who want to play this game, who want to experience this for yourselves, it is in the link in the description below. And if you really like this video, why not hit that big blue like button for more content like this in the future, and subscribe for future content. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.